Well, you're an exception. I mean, you're a leader in your field. That's why you're doing things like that. Because I learned a long time ago that only 3% of the mail that people receive are personal. I mean, think about it. Only 3% is personal. The rest is junk mail. So when somebody gets a birthday card, and you'll have people will tell you that, you're the only person that sent me a card. Thank you very much.
Welcome to the No Excuse Pro podcast, your weekly dose of motivation and actionable advice. If you're a realtor, financial planner, business owner, or anyone who's tired of making excuses and ready to take your success to the next level, you've come to the right place. Join your host, Kevin Brierton, each week as he chats with industry leaders who are going beyond the excuses to achieve their goals. So no excuses accepted. Let's get started.
Hey, Jim Packard. Hey, thank you so much for joining me on the No Excuse Pro podcast, where we're interviewing people like you to help others break through excuses and achieve their goals. So thank you so much for coming on, and tell us a little bit about what you do and your journey, and what businesses are you running and what are you up to these days?
Well, I started out in the copier business, selling photocopiers, faxes, and printers. And it is interesting, Kevin. I started with three people. I had a partner who was another salesperson and a technician. And we go, what do we do with Ronnie every day? Because we didn't have any machines to service really to speak of, just a very few. So I came up with the idea, well, let's have Ronnie go service those machines that we do have out. Just check the glass, wipe it off, add paper to the machine, add toner, check the machine, and then leave. Well, we started doing that, and he did it. I mean, there weren't that many machines, so he did it every single week. And as a result, we noticed the loyalty that we started having with customers and the referrals. So as we grew, when we delivered a copy machine, we'd have people that we had a customer service rep that would deliver a canister, Korean ice canister, and they'd put flavored popcorn in it. And every month that they went to visit the account, they would put different flavored popcorn in. And so now we had monthly visits and we had weekly visits by the technician. So I was always looking for another way just to keep the focus on the customer. We worked so hard to get a customer and we didn't want to lose them. So I came up with the idea, and this is, 30 years ago now. I came up with the idea, let's send the photocopiers that we sold birthday cards. And I found out the customers loved that. I mean, it wasn't, we could only send them once a year, but they absolutely loved that. And what I didn't know at the time, that the lifetime value of a customer can be 10 times the original purchase price of the machine. And as a result, we grew our business. We grew it to one of the largest in the country. And I happened to sell the company to a Fortune 500 company and retired to Arizona. And by the way, when we sold the company, Kevin, we're doing over 122 hours per week of courtesy call visits, just checking the machines. And I moved to Arizona. I said, well, there's got to be other people that would like that concept. So I got into the greeting card business, sending greeting cards to people. And I got very fortunate that I had some very large accounts and some very well-known people like Tom Hopkins and Zig Ziglar and Brian Tracy and Harvey McKay and Elizabeth Taylor, Janet Jackson. They all bought into our system. So it's just been a great customer retention tool that I've used for years.
So we're going to talk a little bit about how I've used that system for about almost 9 years. And before I go over that, though, I want to ask you, what's the one thing that's been a difference maker in your success over the years? What's the one thing, if you could pinpoint one thing?
It's keeping in contact with the customers that I had. I mean, I look back at some of the copier company or some of the people that we sold copiers to and faxes to, and I wish that I maintained a relationship with all those people.
Yeah.
I didn't find this system until, years later, but it's just so many people that you lose touch with, and you don't want to, you don't mean to, it just happens.
Yeah. I think that's huge. I mean, keeping in touch So handwritten cards, we're going to kind of, really go deep on handwritten cards on this because I think the listeners, my partners, some of my coworkers need to hear this message because it's something that I've really, taken to different levels. I want to say the next level, but I think, and even another level above this, I could even get better. What I'm doing is, as a mortgage professional, I've learned that sometimes the emails can go to junk. The, other messaging, social media can be doused down by all the other things that are out there. And we do video, we do, other social media advertising and database, based information out there. But the one thing that's really stood out in my business and why I continue to do it, and I love doing it, is birthday cards. So you mentioned that you were doing gifting. And so I do birthday cards and brownies. One thing I've found that's successful is I keep it simple. So I update my birthday cards usually once a year, if not maybe twice a year, but definitely once a year. And sometimes I'll customize it directly. Sometimes I'll kind of have a basic message in there. You'll have to, people have to figure out what works for them, but get something simple and that you can use all the time. So the system I use is your system because I was looking for a system to send out. I've tested probably 20 different systems. And it just even going to the store. So let's think about going to the store. So one of the hurdles for doing cards and handwritten cards is, I got to go buy stamps. I got to go buy the card. I got to pick it out. I got to get this right. So, there's different systems to do it, but send out cards, what I was introduced to, you introduced me to about 10 years ago, is a system where I don't have to buy stamps. I don't have to buy, the card. I can customize the card with pictures that I want. So what I've done as a mortgage professional is I've customized a few of them with pictures of myself that kind of point up to like happy birthday or just different little fun things. So I can stay in front of them. They go, oh yeah, that's Kevin. We know Kevin is our mortgage guy and he sends us brownies on our birthday. And it's funny because there's a lot of people out there in the social media world that talk bad about, you're just sending out a birthday card, like almost making it like you're crazy for sending out a birthday card. That doesn't work anymore. Well, I have to tell you, doing something like this that's different, it stands out, and I like sending a gift with it, like brownies, something simple, is a difference maker. And so that's what I've been doing. We actually just started doing, based on one of your partner's request or expertise, was doing a semi-annual birthday card. So we're just going to start doing that as well. So I love that idea. So birthday cards are great. It's the easiest way to start doing handwritten cards. So that's what I'm doing as a mortgage professional. Any other advice or any other tips you'd have for mortgage professionals or realtors listening?
Well, you're an exception. I mean, you're a leader in your field. That's why you're doing things like that. Because I learned a long time ago that only 3% of the mail that people receive are personal. I mean, think about it. Only 3% is personal. The rest is junk mail. So when somebody gets a birthday card, and you'll have people will tell you that, you're the only person that sent me a card. Thank you very much. And you don't have to put on it, oh, by the way, we love referrals, because that takes away from the fact that you're celebrating their particular birthday. Another card I like to send out are anniversary cards, and not anniversary of their marriage, but anniversary of the day that you started doing business with them, because that kind of separates you from everybody else. I love to send out, in March, I like to send out a card that on the front of the card, it says, I don't want your business. And then when they open it up, it says April Fools.
Oh, that's a beautiful card. Yeah, I love that idea.
Yeah, that return on investment is tremendous for me. And all you're doing is keep in touch. So what's the value of a customer? I mean, can you put a price tag on it? I mean, even if you sent the customer a card every single month, all right, you're only talking $25. I mean, you're not talking a lot of money here. Is it worth it to stay in front of a client every single month? I think it is. I've proven it is. And
well, you hit on something that I want to go back to about the 3%. So can you tell me a little bit more about, we had a conversation a few weeks ago about this, and now you just refreshed my memory. Tell me a little bit more about the 3% of mail and what the other 97 is and why this is important.
Well, if you go to your mailbox, we have a great big slot of mailboxes here where we live. And I look at there's a trash can next to it, and I look at all the junk mail that goes in that trash can, right? But if you get a card in the mail and you look at it, you go, oh, who's this from? It's usually the first thing you open up. And just think about it. 97% of the stuff we get in our mailboxes are stuff that we didn't ask for. We're not looking for, all right? Or it's junk mail of some sort. So when you get that birthday card or whatever type of card it is, they do open it up.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's important. I don't, most of my cards, I don't necessarily say, do you have a referral, right? Because I think it's okay to ask for business at certain times. And sometimes I take the approach of don't ask. And then I ask for one, right?
Sure.
Because, you need to make sure people know what you do. And I think there's an error where people don't ever ask for business, and that could be a problem too. So how do you thread that needle of asking for business, but not asking for business? I mean, what would you recommend?
Well, it's interesting. If you get a referral from a present customer, you have a 1 out of 6 chance of selling it. Mm-hmm. Right? If you any other type of prospecting, it's 1 out of 20. So you want to have those referrals, but you just don't ask for the referral when it's their birthday or during Christmas or Thanksgiving. I mean, we have referral cards that we have, and just reminding you that, our lifeblood is a business is on referrals. If you think of anybody that we can help, let us know. So we have cards just specifically for asking for referrals.
That's a great way to do it. So just on a separate situation, you just send a
absolutely.
referral card. It's not on their birthday. It's not on, the holidays. It's not other touch points. It's literally just directly towards that. Just reminds them. One thing that in our business, in any business, I guess, is whether you do business across state lines. So, we finance across state lines, about 46 states. And sometimes we have clients who go, oh, I didn't know you do California, or I didn't know you did this. And it's like, So it is good to remind them in that way too. I love the idea of doing an anniversary when you met somebody and started doing business with them. So that's awesome. So let me ask you a few other questions around no excuse and your philosophy on this. What's the number one recurring problem that has frustrated you in your profession? And then what are you doing about it? Or maybe what have you done about it? What are you doing about it right now? What is the number one recurring problem that frustrates you?
I can't imagine how many people don't have addresses of their customer base, their client base. Yeah. I mean, I have an ideal client. They're usually in the roofing business or HVAC or the solar business or landscaping or something like that. And they don't seem to have their addresses. And I said, just get it one time. Just ask them, if I was going to send you a gift, where would I send it? Just go out and collect that information. Because once you have it, it's like, it's your gold mine. It's your database. So
that is, so what do you recommend to kind of solve that? Like, is it just as simple as, hey, what's the address? I'm going to send you, your report in the mail. If you're doing whatever, you're obviously having to mail somebody. I think what I found is just ask them for it. Most people would just give it to you. If you're doing business with them, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah. If you ask somebody, where would I send a gift to you? What address would I use? You'll get their address, believe me.
Yeah. So one strategy we're using to get, database, information is just your phone. So the starting part of this is download your contacts on your phone. And if you ask people, and I've done this a few times in class settings, how many people do you think you have in your contacts?
Yeah.
And they'll generally tell me a number about 25% of what it actually is. So 200, 300, and it's all of a sudden 800, and they're like, oh, so there's systems out there that you can use as far as you download all your contacts, you export it to an Excel sheet, and you start building it out from there. So that's something that, we've helped people with and we advise on, to just start with your contacts in your phone and don't overlook somebody. I just had a great conversation today on a birthday call. I do birthday calls and brownies and cards. And I had a great conversation. Every time I make calls when I'm like, oh, I haven't talked to them for a while, I don't need to call them. Just call them, And she was so appreciative. We had a great conversation, 4-minute conversation, 6-minute conversation. It was awesome, and that's my thing is don't overthink it. Go through your contact list if you're looking for a strategy there.
Yeah, I think that you're smart in sending the brownies because if you think about it, I have a lot of people that will send me a gift card. In the greeting cards, they'll send like an Amazon card or a Starbucks card or what have you. And I try to remind them that if they sent a box of brownies rather than the Starbucks card, 4 people would get to enjoy the brownies, whereas only one person uses the Starbucks card. So it's a big difference.
So to that point, I've had people tell me, hey, Kevin, I can't eat this because of whatever, but I gave it to my son that loved them, or I love the brownies again. And then I actually didn't send brownies out this last year for about a 12-month period of time. And I had people going, where are my brownies at? Why didn't I get my brownies? And then, it was kind of a joke a little bit, but then I'm like, people, getting a card in the mail is awesome. Getting a card and a gift is even better.
Oh, absolutely.
The cost, and again, there's different systems out there. We use send out cards. Send out cards is awesome because you have, it's like $11 for shipping, card, and the brownies. And they're like fairy tale, really good brownies. Man, you can't do that any simpler. And then the cool thing about this system that I like is it's on the phone. So if I want to send somebody a card, I can customize a picture, I can customize the message, and then I can send the card. Now, if we tie in AI to that, if you don't know what to say, or you're kind of just trying to get ideas of what to say, use ChatGPT for the message and then plug that in if you have the starting point for the message. That's a great way to, quickly send messages. Our goal is 5 handwritten cards a day to have a lasting impact on families we're serving. And, and that's everything from the birthday cards to thank you cards for referrals. So having it on the phone and using technology in addition to doing handwritten cards has really been a game changer for me because it's all about consistency. I think you have written a book about that. The consistency is important because if I have an excuse to not do a handwritten card because I don't have the stamp, that's an excuse. Well, use technology to get that card sent. You have a phone, just send the card, right? Now you're done. I send about 3 birthday cards in the morning before I even get on the computer. And it takes me about 5 minutes.
Yeah, we can set up in everybody's account a campaign card where it's the same birthday card. It can have the same message. It's very easy to say, I hope today is one of many special days for you this year. Happy birthday, Kevin. That's all pre-written. All they have to do is push the button that says send, and it goes out to that person. Once a year, I change the birthday card. Okay. I have different birthday cards if it's a woman or a man. All right. So I can pick whichever one I want. And it's all done for you automatically anyway. So, and it's now we send them and go ahead.
What's stopping people then? Right? We know handwritten cards make a difference. It's been taught to salespeople for years. It's a difference maker. There's systems out there to help you. Why don't people do it? What's the number one excuse you see?
I think they're just not aware that there's a system out there that allows them to do it automatically. It's there. We have the best of both worlds. We have the personal touch with the technology, and and Send Out Cards is the largest customer in the United States for first class stamps. They did over 200 million cards. Think about it, 200 million cards through the post office. So it's there. It's sitting there waiting for somebody. And there's different pricing programs for everybody, but it's you can find the one that fits your needs.
Yeah. Well, I know you had a couple other questions around mortgage specific and how I use it.
A few more minutes here.
this is we try to keep this in drive time, but I'd love to answer any other questions you have on this.
Typically, mortgage lenders aren't my typical client. It's always been, the service industry. And so I was asking you, what is the type of cards that you would normally send to somebody? Is there a 3-card campaign that you would send to a new customer? Is there a certain, what do you,
So
what do
something
you
that I
send
did
out?
recently, I used to always do a handwritten card and I would mail it when I first initially met somebody. Maybe that's
Mm-hmm.
my anniversary of meeting them was when I send that
Yep.
card out. I can
Yep.
literally look back at the dates. So initially I would just send a card. I would do business cards. Then this last year I switched it to using send out cards. And what I like about using send out cards is I use a trifold. So it's kind of like a bigger fold out.
Okay.
The
Yeah.
reason why is I really wanted to send like a book, like a little mini book about our team, what to expect about the Brierton team. But that costs if you send 20 pages out. So what I did was I said, okay, well, why don't I do it through send out cards, have a nice fold out. So I have the opening page, the front page of the card, it opens up, then I have 3 more pages inside, and then I have the back cover. Well, I was able to do a QR code to the book I want, or that I push it over so that I have the QR code, then I have the message that I want. And the trifold is no more expensive than the regular card. I was like, well, that's a no-brainer. And it opens up nice. It's a little different. I encourage people to use different things. So that's something I started using I really like because I can put a big picture of me and my partner on my team. It can get them to know us a little bit more. And it's very inexpensive and easy to do. So that's something that I do right away. We also do other gifting through our like corporate side. So I try to have a balancing act of what we're doing there and what I'm doing on the send out cards situation. But I would set up a thank you for referral. That's a huge one. Just, hey, thanks so much for your referral. Thank you so much for the 5-star review. I just sent one of those out the other day.
Okay.
That's a no-brainer. Those are 2 you need. The other one would be a sympathy card. Unfortunately, there's a lot of stuff that happens, especially if you stay in touch with people for their life, and you're going to have, some unfortunate situations or celebrations. So, deaths, unfortunately, I send hopefully not a lot of cards out, but I do send out cards for deaths in the family. I do send out, though, I love one thing that's really cool, and it's easy for me. I'm all about no excuses and making it easy. So I do the new baby card, and I send the little giraffe. So there's a giraffe in there. There's a blue one and a pink one. And it's just easy because I go in there, write a little message. Usually those are customized messages.
Yeah.
I'm customizing that, send it out. And I really enjoy that. And I've been doing that for a long time. So those are the cards that I'm generally doing. We're going to do the half birthday now, just because it's kind of something different and fun. On top of that, I'm doing some newsletter stuff. That's a separate thing. I use a separate system, but if through send out cards and more personal cards, that's really what I'm using it for.
Yeah. And on May 4th, send out cards changed their pricing around, and they added VAs to the different programs. Where now, what you do is super. And if I was a new person, I would hear it and I'd go, well, I might need some help setting this up. And so with their programs now, they offer VA assistance where you get a minimum of 2 hours of VA time.
So you get a virtual assistant that's going to help you, that knows the system and how to set it up. And then they're going to help you set it up.
Well, I just, for example, I just sent out 116 4th of July cards. And I was on the line with the VA, and I said, oh, by the way, I need a 4th of July card to send out. Can you create one for me? They created 3 cards. I picked which one I like. I said, we'll go with this one. And I sent it out. And I go, oh, that was easy. Okay. So they have VAs now that help you set up the back of your cards. They will create the cards for you. They'll create campaigns for you. So it's almost a done-for-you system. It really is a very effective program now.
Yeah, I think it's important. Like the ease of it all is super important. And I think that's what I love about it. I mean, it's something that, I just embraced over the years. So I want everybody that's listening to hear this. We love send out cards. If you want more information on it, reach out. We'd love to, talk through it and do a strategy call around send out cards, how to use it, how to get your database into it, how to find addresses, what names to put in there, who to even mail to. If you're just starting out in sales, whether you're a financial advisor, you're a business owner, mortgage person, real estate, you have a database, and we can show you how to start that. But hear me here, handwritten cards are important. So you need to start somewhere. So whether it's send out cards, what we truly believe in, or just doing the old school handwritten cards, or just getting your database organized, just getting the Excel sheet organized is the most important thing. The worst thing about this is one of the reasons why I started this podcast was I talk to professionals all day long that fail in this business because they don't want to do some of this stuff. And your clients want to hear from you. They actually do want a real relationship. And that's why these cards need to be real and genuine. And so doing a database marketing business is extremely important. You could be whatever business you're in the database marketing business. And if you're not, you're leaving a lot of money on the table and you're not taking care of your clients. That's how I really feel, because if you were and you truly believed in your service, you'd be going telling everybody, but you'd be staying in touch with your database to make sure they know what you're doing and they can refer you and help you and you add value. So that's my reason for doing this. Jim, I really appreciate you. I mean, I actually have a whole list of more questions for you, but we'll take that into another call. We're right at drive time. But is there like any last words of encouragement, any advice you would have for realtors, mortgage professionals, financial advisors watching this to be successful out there? And no excuses.
I heard something the other day. I heard that if you took a penny and you doubled it every day for 30 days, how much money would you have at the end of the month? Now, if you took a penny, you doubled it every day, you would have $5 million at the end of the month. If you took a penny and you doubled it every other day for 30 days, how much money would you have in the bank? And the answer to that question is $163. So the difference of, are you building a $5 million business or a $163 business? It's just doing something on a consistent basis every single day. And I send a card out every single day. You do more than I do now, but I do bulk mailings quite a bit. So, but kudos to you, Kevin.
I love that. I'm going to share that story. I think I'm going to share that on my Saturday strategy email coming up this week. So I love that. Thanks again, Jim. Honor having you on. And everybody, thanks for watching the No Excuse Pro podcast, where we're here with strategies to help you remove the excuses and take care of those dreams that are out there standing, waiting to be knocked down. So appreciate you watching. Thanks, everybody. We'll catch you on the next one.
And there you have it, folks. Another enlightening episode of the No Excuse Pro podcast is in the books. A heartfelt thank you to today's guests for sharing their wisdom, and to you, our valued listeners, for spending your time with us. If you're ready to ditch the excuses and level up, make sure to subscribe and find all our episodes at noexcusepropodcast.com. Don't forget, the only thing standing between you and your goals is the story you tell yourself. So no excuses accepted here. Take action and make it happen.